Share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution radio show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangade. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. What if you could live to be 120 years old and remain active, healthy, alert, and vibrant? Our bodies are made up of cells that are constantly rejuvenating. So if we take proper care of ourselves, we can literally defy aging. Join us every Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to learn about self-care from Susan Essentials on the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio Show. Learn how to help your body and your cells feel rejuvenated each day through proper nutrition, sleep, frequency medicine, and many unconventional methods of self-care. I'm Jody Susan. Join me and my amazing guests by calling in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. We'll help you achieve a breakthrough in your health today.
Good morning, everybody. It's Jody Susan with Susan Essentials, and we are here with the Female Solution on Blog Talk Radio, Self-Care. And today, we're grateful to have Jim Elvidge of Aulterra on our show, and we're going to talk about EMF concerns. Are they fact or are they fiction, right? And I'm just going to give you a little background and about the show. So EMF radiation concerns are not new. They've been going on for decades, probably more so than that, and Jim will speak to that. Fair enough. But 5G has gotten a lot of attention, and it's important, but we need to look at the big picture. So I met Jim through Aulterra because I advocate for his products. And you know, you just don't know what you don't know. And the team at Aulterra is so amazing. They're not just business people. They really bring business and spirit together in a way that I've never seen before. So, and with that being said, I want to just share, before I give you any more background on Jim, who, by the way, is a nutritionist, and I'm going to let him tell you his background. He's amazing. But I want you to know he's also a musician. So I told him yesterday that I was going to start the show with his music because it's so heartfelt. So let me just share this file or share this screen. Let me just do this. And technology, I understand, is Jim's thing, but it's certainly not mine. So please send grace as I'm doing this. There we go. So I'm going to share the screen. And we're going to add it. There we go. So this is what Jim wrote and saying.
When everything we know, love, and trust has gone away, do we point our fingers? Do we cast the blame? Curse ourselves and live in shame? No, I still think we're better than that. I still think there's a final act. Because I've seen the world as a perfect place, a beautiful thing we can all embrace. You know, we can struggle without the pain. All our differences can be our strength. But we'll never know if it goes away. We'll never know unless we start today. I'm feeling lonely now. I'm feeling all alone. But I don't want your pity. I just want you to feel the pain. Where's all the love? Where's all the love? Where's all the love? There must be love. Where's all the love? Where's all the love? Where's all the love? There.
Oh. What happened to our music? Hold on.
Must be love. Where's all the love? You know, I used to think it was natural for us to love unconditionally, have honor, compassion, and trust. But I see more and more that's not really true. This is all something we need to learn to do. Look around and what do you see? I mean, really look. This isn't about you and it's not about me. This is about everyone and everything. From a baby's cry to just listening to the birds sing. This is your story, it's your call. Just know that without love, you have nothing at all. I'm feeling lonely now. I'm feeling all alone. But I don't want your sympathy. I just want you to feel the pain. We've all made the same mistakes, 'cause we're all made the same. Where's all the love? Where's all the love? Where's all the love? There must be love. Where's all the love? Where's all the love? Where's all the love? Where's all the love? There must be love. Where's all the love? Where's all the love? Where's all the love? Where's all the love? I think I'm going to cry now, and you can do the same.
So, good morning.
Morning.
So let's talk about the old versus new way to launch your online course. So the first thing I want you to know is that your
launch your online course.
Are you having technology problems?
Usually.
is not personal.
There we go. So, every morning should start with that song. So beautiful. Really,
Thank you.
beautiful. So,
Appreciate it.
So welcome. And so you created, I just want to start with this because I think it speaks volumes to who you are. Let me just put in a new background. So you wrote that song, why?
Well, definitely came up last year in the midst of everything that was going on, the whole COVID thing, the riots. Yeah, it's and actually though the idea of the song actually came to me probably several years ago. The initial part, just playing the piano, the song came to me, and actually it came to me because I play a lot. I don't know, I was having a rough night. I came home at like 3 a.m. and just sat down at the piano, and then that song pretty much came out, except for the lyrics. The lyrics didn't come to me though until last year, when I saw everything that was going on, and I thought, okay, this is where the song comes into play, and that's when I decided to record it and produce it, and create the video for it. I thought it was timely.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
so, please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the point is, of that, when you see just such a lack of love in the world, and it's pretty apparent that without love, you have nothing at all.
Yeah,
literally, we will cease to exist.
Yeah, it does. And we're programmed, I think, a lot of times we just get programmed to respond to people in a certain way. And the programming can come from TV, it can come from radio, it can come from our family, it can come from our friends. And so until we choose to reprogram ourselves, to start with, which is what I always tell people, and my bird, she told me too.
Does the bird repeat everything?
She actually has a mind of her own. We won't go there. She actually has her own following too. So she's a magical creature. So she does send her own messages, to be honest. But let's sometimes I think it's hard to start with heart because of all the interferences that we as humans are exposed to, right?
Right.
Things like EMF, other toxins, EMF is an electrosmog, can interfere with our brain health, can interfere with how we process things, can literally, for me, I know, set my brain on fire, right? So,
yeah, quite literally.
Right. And so it makes it difficult, I think, to then show the love, because you're suffering. And so I want to talk about, if you would be so kind as to share with our listeners your background, why you do what you do, and we'll start with that, and then how EMF neutralizers, support people in neutralizing all this e-smog, which is crazy, intense, like that. So go ahead.
Well, let's see. It all started with the dinosaurs. Just joking. I guess we won't go that far back. My dad was a chiropractor. So I grew up in that, in that environment, and he wasn't just a chiropractor. He was, it's kind of an oxymoron, I guess, to say he was a holistic chiropractor, but to describe what he did, he wasn't just a manual manipulator. He was way back. He was a pioneer in applied kinesiology back in the 60s, and he was using what they call BEST technique, bioenergetic synchronization techniques, and just a lot of just different techniques, which sort of, brought together chiropractic and, sort of acupuncture in a way, and, an acupressure. And so he was a constant learner. So my memories growing up was traveling and going to seminar after seminar after seminar, which I loved. I didn't go to the seminars with him. I was a kid, but I swam in the pools and had fun. Right. While my dad was off learning. But we did that. I mean, literally, it may not have been every weekend, but as a child, it seemed like it was this constant traveling. And not only that side, he took me to go to Tony Robbins twice, and I was young. I was maybe the first time I saw Tony Robbins, I think I was 12 or 13 or 14 or something like that. Wow. I just went along for the ride, but it was fun. It was cool. We did the fire walk, all that kind of stuff. Walked on coals. But he'd take me around. We went, got to see Wayne Dyer, before he passed away. And, so we just did a lot of fun stuff that I guess at the time, perhaps I took for granted, just because I wasn't really coherent of what it was all about, but I learned a lot, along the way, because I took it all in like a sponge. And so, and my dad died young at 62 of a massive heart attack. So he was kind of like what do they call it? The shoemaker's thing, where he loved to heal. That was his passion. That was his life. But, he didn't take the best care of himself. Which is, it is what it is. It's great. It's fun. It's a bittersweet symphony that we're all a part of. And so, I was into music though. I think he was really hoping that I would go off to chiropractic, go to Palmer. And as a matter of fact, I was named after Bartlett Palmer, who, the creator of Palmer Chiropractic.
Yeah. DJ. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I went off to do music though, because music was my passion. So I went to LA, went to music school, did all that, played in bands and did the rock star thing for a long time, but always had, a mind for just self-development and especially nutrition. And so about, 15 years ago, maybe now 12 years ago, I went off and got my nutritional therapy practitioner certification in Seattle, and which was interesting because I ended up knowing Gray Graham, who's one of the founders of NTP, was actually really good friends with my dad. So it was interesting, it was kind of like we were all kindred spirits there. So it was interesting, and learned a lot, and I still continue to learn a lot in that whole realm. And around that same time, it seems like right after I got certified, when I came back to Spokane, I was doing, because I've always been a techie geek, too. So I was doing IT for a company actually called the Human Potential Project, which they do leadership management training for large corporations, but sort of also in a holistic way, which is just interesting. Everything just has always kind of been magnetic in that realm. But I ended up meeting Kim Danduran. So this would have been right around 2006, I suppose, somewhere around there, and got neutralizer stickers from him. And at that time, I wasn't even really thinking so much about, EMF radiation. All I knew is that the cell phone I was using did not feel good to me. It just didn't feel good. It just didn't feel right. And I'm very perceptive to those kinds of things. And I thought, great, he just kind of explained to me. He didn't really, go into the science of it all. And I was like, I'll take it, So I've been using, yeah. So I've been using the neutralizer stickers, since 2006. And he gave me at the time, because we just kind of hit it off. We liked each other, but he gave me a big old bag of neutralizers, and I just, my wife thought I was insane, because I just went around. I mean, I put stickers on everything. I mean, literally, on the cat. I'm just like putting stickers everywhere. Yeah, just went crazy with the stickers. But no, I've been using them though ever since. And about 2 years ago now. Say how long I've been with Aulterra, for two and a half years now. I was the Human Potential Project was had a really bad downturn, and that kind of started back when everything crashed, which was in around whatever year that was, about, I don't know. I think it all started around 2011, and then we slowed down, and then Chris Major, who's the founder of the Human Potential Project, was kind of moving on and doing other stuff. And so I was just doing a lot of freelance video work and graphic design and stuff. And Chris was also friends with Kim Danduran, and mentioned, Kim was losing his IT guy. And so Kim's like, well, hey, I know a guy. So Kim called me, we went out to lunch, hit it off again, and here I am. And I just thought it was amazing, because I love the product, and I didn't know nearly as much until a couple of years ago, and started talking with Kim, and I was like, yeah, this is amazing. And especially when I really looked at the Aulterra powder, the Enhance, what it does, the properties. To me, it's like, it's just short of like a miracle mineral, honestly. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Tell us why.
Well, without diving too far into the sciencey part of it, but the powder has this crazy ability to correct ionic exchange rate. So, and just to kind of explain how ionic exchange rate works, it's the opposite. So positive ionic flow has a negative effect on the body. Negative ionic flow has a positive effect on the body. So, like when you're sitting by a river or the ocean, and you got rushing water creates really intense negative ionic flow, which makes you feel good. It relaxes you. It brings you into harmony. That's that's why we just love to sit by running water. We love our fountains. We love it's partly it's the sound of it, but I think people don't realize it's creating negative ionic flow, which absorbs through. It goes right through your body. Just you absorb that negative ionic flow. So it has this crazy ability. I'm honestly not, I mean, I've seen the science. I'm a techie guy, but I'm not a real sciencey guy. Science is great to validate things, but honestly, to me, I'm just very empathic, naturally. And so I I tend to not care so much about the science. Science is great and we do the science, but it doesn't mean a whole lot to me unless I can feel it. Your science doesn't mean a whole lot to me. You can talk science all day long and okay, that's great. But unless it actually changes the way that I feel, then it doesn't mean a whole lot to me. So yeah, its ability to create negative ionic flow. So, it actually corrects the ionic flow, cellular ionic flow in your body, which is it's crazy how that works. Its ability to naturally enhance vibratory rate, not, just in other substances. So, like say, you can be taking your vitamin C. It will naturally enhance the vibratory rate of that vitamin C. So that makes that vitamin C even more potent. And like I said, I'm I've seen the science, I've seen Glenn Ryan's science, I've looked at, Lisa Tully, they've done the peer reviews. It's very sciencey, which is all
people that want to see it.
Right.
So what you're saying is that, so what Jim is talking about, there's a powder that Aulterra has, and it's called Enhance, and it's like a white, kind of a creamy color powder, right?
Yeah.
And so you're saying that you take it internally, is that right?
Right.
And you like mix it with your vitamin C.
Yes. I mean, vitamin C as an example.
As an example, right.
Yes. But just, anything that you might be taking, supplements, even medications. I'm not going to make a claim on medications because I don't want to, wake up in a cardboard box.
Right.
Yeah. But, it has that ability to just enhance, like basically you're enhancing the power of that substance, of whatever it's doing. And, my first conversation with Kim is like, well, then what if it's a bad substance? Is it going to enhance the negative qualities? And it's like, well, no, because as it's, the science behind that is it is correcting ionic exchange rate. So no matter what, it's not, so it doesn't take positive ionic flow and intensify positive. It actually reverses the positive ionic flow, makes it a negative ionic flow, which is suitable and in enhancing to vibratory rate. So it's, and I question that honestly, because I'm just as skeptical as everyone else, there's skepticism is good, but there's deviant skepticism, which is more just based on hate and, but I was very skeptical. But when I feel it, I believe it, and I'm like, okay, no, it's definitely doing something there. And then of course, you can look through and read, like Glenn Ryan's peer reviews, and he's a PhD, and that's what he does for a living. He tests people's products and basically gives you honest feedback. And he actually compared it or likened it to what Reiki does. And I don't know a lot about Reiki so much. I know that's, energy work. But apparently, good, or Reiki, is it pronounced Reiki or Reiki?
Reiki. I pronounce it Reiki, but that
Reiki.
doesn't mean that's true.
Right. Right. But really good Reiki masters can also have that ability to like slow down DNA rewinding, winding and rewinding. And it has that same, and the Aulterra powder has the same effect on DNA. And we'll kind of get into that a little bit more, because that's kind of a whole nother thing. But yeah, he basically likens it to energy, to energy work. I mean, the Aulterra, and the Aulterra is, it's a combination of a few different rare earth minerals, really. Mm-hmm. It's I don't know if I want to say it's not rocket science. It is natural. It's all based on what the planet has to offer us, so there's no super highly technical, anything technical involved. These are just, it's a combination and putting that right combination of rare earth minerals that has that ability to neutralize EMF radiation. And so the powder also has that. So the powder has what we call the green rock in it. So besides, the ionic exchange rate, everything that's going on there, the powder has the ability it neutralizes heavy metal toxins, and people get confused about this. So it doesn't neutralize heavy metals. It's not a chelator. It doesn't remove heavy metals from the body. It neutralizes heavy metal toxins. Heavy metal is also highly attracted to EMF, so it bonds. So when you're being bombarded with EMFs, when those EMFs go inside your body, it will bond. It's attracted to heavy metals. So when you're internally neutralizing EMFs from the inside out, so stickers, they're neutralizing EMFs, ambient EMFs and EMFs outside the body from the outside in, like the pendant, for instance. The pendant neutralizes from the outside in. The powder, when you ingest it, is neutralizing from the inside out. So there is a difference there. And so when you neutralize the internal EMFs that are trapped in your body because of those heavy metal and the toxins that are produced by heavy metal, you're neutralizing the heavy metal toxins. Now you break that bond, so there's no resistance. So, and not only that, but you're also neutralizing the EMFs, but then your body will begin to be able to naturally chelate heavy metals like it's supposed to, like it used to a couple hundred years ago. And that's, your body has that a natural ability, but because we are so inundated and people just have no idea, they're like, EMFs, huh? What? And it's like, wow. I mean, they just have, it's, they liken it to, burning, you get these haters that on Facebook, oh, you guys are, scams. It doesn't burn you. You'd have to put something in the microwave to heat it to a certain degree. And it's like, it's not about that. We might feel a burning sensation. We're not saying it's burning you. It doesn't quite work like that. There's so many variables that are going on when EMFs are inundating your body. It's damaging your DNA. It clumps your red blood cells, like you've seen, our dark field microscopy video. I mean, and we've done hundreds of those videos. Because I've learned how to do it, and I'm always doing tests. And I have yet, in the 2.5 years and all the tests that I've done, there's not been one test that came back inconclusive. Every single one I've done with anybody has always been the same exact results. And it's crazy. When you do a baseline blood reading, it's like, most people, definitely if you smoke or something, or your blood's going to not look that great. But even most people on their baseline readings, their blood does not look that great. And then
I use a PEMF device twice a day. And when I don't use it, it's clear. Like you said, you can have all the science in the world, but if it doesn't make you feel better, right?
Right. Yeah.
But we have to do a commercial real quick, and I'd like to come back and talk to you about the discs. And, I have a few questions for you on that.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So we just got 2 commercials here. I guess we're just going to start with this right here. So, all right. Oh. Hi, I'm Jody Susan with Susan Essentials. I started Susan Essentials in 2015 because of a personal health journey. I was over-medicated and put on 19 different medications. And yes, I reversed all my chronic diseases using plant and energy-based healing. It was amazing. At Susan Essentials, we support both consumers and businesses, and we do that with helping your employees or yourself with a food as medicine mindset. how Susan Essentials supports businesses and consumers is we teach people about a food as medicine mindset. So we support people on how to support their own immune system, how to support their brain health, how to support their emotional well-being. And we do that all with plant and an energy-based healing. Here.
I'm Beata, your holistic life coach. These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm Beata.
We seem to be having interferences on this show. And if we have anybody listening on YouTube or Facebook, you can call in and speak to Jim. And the number is 515-605-9325. Just press 1 to speak. We'd love to get your questions. Again, that's 515-605-9325. So Jim, I have a sticker on my phone, of course, and I'll just show everybody. So I always have my stickers on my phones, and on my computer and on my iPad and everything. So, but my question is, does it give me the right to hold the device to my body? Does it neutralize it that well, or do you need more than one sticker? Or does it give you the right to keep it like 6 inches from your body? Can you still put it in your head? Like, what about all of that?
Well, interestingly enough, so first of all, I just personally put 2 stickers on my phone. I've got 2 stickers on my laptop. I double up on everything, but I'm also just extreme at everything that I do. One sticker, one sticker is doing the job. I mean, one sticker is definitely neutralizing those, the EMF radiation, so it's no longer harmful to your body. I just put 2, but interestingly enough, Glenn Ryan, in his peer reviews, he came to the conclusion that actually having, putting the neutralizer sticker on your device and actually even having your device on you can actually have a beneficial effect. Not to say, hey, let's all get crazy with our cell phones and hold, keep them tight to our chest or anything like that. But no, the neutralizer actually, it reverses the damage. It reverses what's going on. So it actually, it has the reverse effect on DNA rewinding. It has that, like I said, it has that reverse effect that corrects ionic exchange rate. So it actually has a beneficial effect. I don't, like I said, I don't want to advocate. I'm not advocating that everybody, keeps their cell phone close to them. But in theory, and this is based on the peer review by Glenn Ryan that I read on Aulterra, that it actually has a beneficial effect. It goes beyond just neutralizing the radiation, coming from the cell phone, but it actually has a beneficial effect.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So after the show, unless you have easy access to it now, if you want to share that study, I'll post it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I can do that. Like I thought like maybe you had to have 6 inches. I didn't know. So
Right. Actually, while we're talking, I can usually multitask. I might be able to find it real quick and just share that little piece.
that's cool.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not advocating it, Aulterra does not advocate that, but that's just what Glenn Ryan came up with. So it is pretty interesting.
So then if you're drinking the powder, how do you consume powder? Because I'm sure you are.
Yeah. So I do it in, in increments. So just like anything, just like any other supplement, you want to, if you take supplement, you want to take it for maybe 2 or 3 weeks on, and you're going to want to take probably a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks off, however you want to do it. But it's never a good idea to continuously take one thing all the time. So I do it in increments. I'll go through a pound of powder, and it takes me about 3 months, but then I won't take it again for probably a month or two, and then I'll start back up on it. But no, the powder's grainy, and it literally, if you just put it in water and drink it, it literally tastes like dirt because it's dirt, and it tastes just like dirt. But what you can do, what's that?
I'm okay with that. I'd probably
No. It doesn't taste bad. It just, what does dirt taste like? Kind of nothing. Yeah, it's not like it has a pungent taste, like, anyway, but I'll either just put like a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons. It just kind of depends. It says, we have a suggested use. But I never follow suggested uses on anything. I just take what feels right to me, and so I'll just take I just take a heaping scoop, throw it in my water, and a lot of times I'll just stir it up while it's just all in the water, and I'm gonna guzzle it down, and then you just kind of have to deal with the graininess for a few seconds. Or if that bothers people, some people just can't handle that. You can actually just put it in the water, and if you let it set for about 5 minutes, all the grain, the dirt, the powder will sink. It sinks to the bottom, and the energy fills the water. So you don't have to drink the actual powder. You don't have to ingest the powder. If you let it sit in that water for about 5 minutes, all that energy fills that water, and then you can just drink the water, leave the sand at the bottom of the glass, and it's good. It's like you just had the powder.
Explain people, Jim, energy.
Oh boy, you're asking a lot.
I know, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, energy is like, it carries a signature, just like anything, everything's energy. Thoughts are energy. Everything is energy. So the signature, I guess you might call it, of that powder will bond and fill the water. And so it takes is that energy, and that it's like a memory. It's like, actually energy but memories are also energy. So it goes vice versa, but it fills, it fills the water with the signature of the properties of the powder. So, it's really like that with a lot of things, especially, but anything that's mineral based. When you put that in water has that ability to carry that signature. It holds that signature, that energy. And just like, and it's kind of a similar way with, homeopathy and things like, well, maybe not so much homeopathy, but energized water, things of that nature. All that's doing is you're basically putting the signature of whatever it is that you want in that liquid, in that water, and that water will hold that memory. It'll hold that signature. So when you drink it, you think you're just drinking water, but you're actually drinking the memory of a substance or a mineral or a supplement of some sort that could be beneficial to you. And when you drink that water, the energy, the memory of that goes into your body, and your body recognizes it.
So I'm going to diverge for a second because I think a point should be made.
Okay.
So energy is a memory. and energy is in our cells, right? And in the minerals and so forth. And so for those people, I eat meat, and for those people that also eat meat, but you're not eating organic, consider the memory or the energy that you're consuming when you eat an animal that's been abused.
Yeah.
And I just want to bring it up because it's just perfect timing. I mean, I only eat organic, and I make sure that I know how, well, I think I make sure. I mean, you never knew for sure, but being an energy being myself and an empath like you, you know, I can kind of muscle test my food. But for the rest of you, just go organic.
Right.
So, because they then produce cortisol, right? When that happens, they're under stress. And then you're consuming that stressful energy that now that you need to convert or eliminate or neutralize. Would that be correct, Jim?
Right. Yeah. You know, and unfortunately, there's not a one size fits all. I mean, everybody's going to react differently, honestly. I mean, different people react differently to different stressful situations. To one person, a situation could be really negative, and they'll have, you know, they just they get a real negative feeling from that situation, where the other person's like, I didn't notice anything, you know. So you have to remember there's different variables, and there is not a one size fits all. Everybody's going to respond differently to different stresses. So, but what's important, and this is probably, this will be on the next show, but what's important is that people need to take responsibility to clear themselves. They need to learn how to daily, literally, you know, at night, clear themselves, you know, clear themselves of any negatives that they might have attracted during the day. And it's not even that they attract it. Sometimes it just happens, you know. But if they just take the time every night just to clear themselves, and it's not like you don't have to sit down and meditate and, you know, do Om or anything like that. It's literally just as easy as sitting down, talking to yourself. I clear any negatives from my body. I clear, you know, anything that I've come across today. I clear the EMFs that have been stored and trapped inside my body. You just talk. It's really that simple. But the thing is, and you know, you get skeptics. Oh, it can't be that. It's like, well, have you tried? You know, have you actually taken the time to do it? You know, if you take the time to do it, you're going to notice a tremendous difference in your life.
So, first of all, thank you. And it's not necessarily another show, because you know, I do that daily. My boyfriend does that daily. If we get off a bad call with a sibling or, you know, somebody in the family who is not aligned the way that we're aligned, we clear our energy. And really, it's as simple as it's a talk. It's a talk with God. It's a talk with your spirit guides, whatever higher being that you believe in, and clearing that energy, asking God to take the negative energy away and replace it with God's divine white light, right? Because if you take something out, you can leave something inside open for something else to come in. So if you don't want something else to come in other than God, bring it in. It's just that simple. And as we were saying yesterday, you know, I'm an untrained shaman. Things just get downloaded to me from God, and a medical intuitive. And so, like, all I do is I find the languaging, I find out what I need to know, and then clear it and ask God. God does the work. I'm just the conduit, you know, like his little puppet string, right? So now. Zelda Robinson, she has a question. Says, will sage help with cleansing? And it looks like we have a caller too. So let's take Zelda's question first. Do you know if sage will help with cleansing?
I don't know I honestly don't know a lot about sage. I do know of sage, you know, burning sage, going through your house, things of that nature. If you want, honestly, this may sound crazy. If you want it to help you, if that is the ritual that you want to take, then it will absolutely help you. Life is all about rituals. We all have our own rituals. We basically, even when it comes to, like, say, chiropractors, let's just use chiropractors as an example. Let's just assume that you have, 10 different chiropractors and they all love to help people. Their intention is to get this person better. They all have the same intention going from point A to point B. All 10 of them may use 10 different rituals. And when I say ritual, it's just a different, one might use manual manipulation. Another one has a different way of doing, chiropractic, has different methods. So I guess we'll just say method and ritual are both interchangeable. I use the term ritual because it really is a ritual. All 10 of them have 10 different rituals, but at the end of the day, hopefully, let's just assume they have the same result. Guy came in with the low back pain, and once they were done, wow, thanks, doc. I feel so much better. All 10 of them use 10 different rituals, but they all have they are shooting. Their intention is the same result, and it's really, the key word is about intention. Sage smells. I like the smell of it, honestly, and it's pleasant. And if that works as your ritual, then by all means, go for it. But as far as cleansing, I think it's not. My belief is it's not so much the sage; it's you using the sage. It's your intention with the sage that's really getting the results. It's all about our intentions. If sage is comfortable, if it smells good, if it's pleasant, and that works with your ritual, that works to help direct your intention. Because a lot of times too, just having that sage, that it gives you something to direct and focus your intention on. And if your intention is focused on that sage, then by all means, it's going to have a great result. That's my belief.
I agree. It's I believe in the power of our intention, the power of mind over matter. And Zelda, I happen to know, has on her stage and in her office lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of plants. So she just fills her environment with plants.
That's amazing, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
She's my soul sister. I love her. Anyway, and she says, Dr. Dwayne Dyer spoke of the power of intention. Awesome. Yeah, and Zelda, I mean, who you are is one intentional being, like someone I have never met before. So yeah.
Wayne Dyer is one of my heroes. Like, he was amazing.
Nice. Yeah. We have a caller, 847-687. We're gonna bring them on and see what their question is. Hold on one second. So welcome to the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio. This is Jody Susan with Self-Care, and we have Jim Elvidge of Aulterra. What's your name and what's your question?
My name's Linda.
Good morning, Linda.
I don't have a question. Hi. About intention, one of my teachers once said, whatever you intend in life, especially in relationships, to always, like, let's say you have a relationship that isn't working the way you want it to, keep your intention and how you want it to occur, but remember they have free will, which was really powerful for me to get, because they don't always work out the way you want, but never lose sight of your intention. Because it's like you were saying, intention is powerful. And that's something that happened with the relationship with my son. not going the way I wanted, and my teacher told me that. And within 2 or 3 days, the whole thing shifted, and it's been wonderful ever since. So, but I had to remember he had free will, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a powerful intention is so powerful. And then I just wanted to pop in and share about the product, the Aulterra product. I've been using it for years, and I love the whole car unit and the whole house. But I wanted to share about the whole car unit because we're driving around and, you know, that EMF energy, it's all around us. And I used to be exhausted because I take road trips. And by the time I did like a 5-hour trip, I would be exhausted. And it would usually take me a day to really get back to myself. And since I've had that whole car unit, I am energized when I get to where I'm going after a 5 or 6 hour drive. I don't have any lag or, you know, I guess jet lag, what you call it. You know, when I get there, I'm full of energy. I don't lose a beat. And in my house, it's just always I'm energetic. And it does make a difference. I even did a test where I took it out for a while and I could feel a difference.
Oh, yeah.
So I love the product. I just love it and wanted to share that.
That's amazing. And I've heard that from so many people, you know, not just the house, but, you know, especially the car. What you just said, I've actually heard that exact same thing from so many people, and it is amazing. And also, I'm not going to say it's the answer to road rage, but it certainly helps, you know. But it does. It does help have a much calmer effect when you're driving, because driving can be extremely unpleasant, you know, especially when, you know, there's a lot of drivers out there that, wow. But it does have that calming effect. And I've heard that from so many people, which is just absolutely amazing. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Linda.
Why it keeps you awake. It's like you don't get tired. And, you know, after a long trip, I drove to Lubbock, Texas, which is, you know, really a boring trip. I mean, you know, it's beautiful and it's all country and stuff. But I wasn't tired. It was amazing.
Wow.
It just was amazing. So thank you for the product.
Yeah, thank you.
I highly encourage her to get one.
Well, so actually, I know who this
my whole
Linda
family.
is, and she does highly encourage everyone. She refers more people to me for Aulterra products than I can count.
Nice.
Yeah, she's absolutely one of your advocates.
All right.
Like, yeah, she sends us all a lot of love.
I'm trying to think. I mean, you don't need to mention her last name. I'm trying, because I know, you know, I see Linda's come through quite. I'm trying to think of which one she might be.
I'll put it in the chat.
We'll talk later about it.
But Zelda's asking, what exactly did Linda use for the car? And I'll let you explain it, Jim.
Okay. Well, so it's a USB. So our product line started years ago with it was a USB. It was a plug, just a plug that plugs in to a outlet in your home. And the science behind that basically is what we do is we take that blend of the rare earth paramagnetic minerals. With the plug, it's different, a little bit different than the USB. The plug was made into more of a clay. So if you open up the plug, you don't see much there. You just see a little tiny dab of clay. And when you plug that in, it doesn't use electricity, doesn't require electricity, it just requires a working outlet. But what that does is the paramagnetic minerals emit a subtle wave, a subtle frequency that retunes the wiring in your home. So it neutralizes the EMFs that are being, the incoherent EMFs that are being produced in the home neutralizes those to a coherent wave. And I'll explain that a little bit, maybe a little bit later here. But neutralizes, retunes the wiring in your home, and it also will neutralize anything plugged into your home. So lights and, devices, things of that nature. And so the USB is based the same exact concept. We moved to a USB for a couple different, well, basically for one main reason is it's more universal because we sell our products all over the world, and it's much easier to get a USB adapter. And the USB adapter is like what you charge your cell phone with. You just plug into USB, plug it into your wall. It's a lot easier for people all over the world to universally be able to get a USB adapter for whatever their style of plug is, because there's several different style of plugs. Europe uses 210. I don't know what all the other plugs are. There's the 2-prong plug. There's the 3.
So now you get why you did it, because of the fact that you're worldwide.
Yes.
And it can be used worldwide.
Yeah, and it made more sense to go with a USB, and that was, when I came on, I kind of started pushing him for that, and then plus so with the USB, it's a little bit different. So now we've taken the paramagnetic minerals and we've turned it, we've made a glue out of it, so it's no longer like a clay or a powder, it's a glue, and it's a real clear, and so you just put it, all it takes is just a dab of that on the motherboard of the USB, and so you plug that in, it does the same thing, it emits that frequency throughout the house's wiring. So it's pretty amazing. So the house does the same, or the car USB does the same thing. When you plug that into most newer cars have a USB port. If it doesn't, then you just get a cigarette lighter adapter for a USB, and you just plug that into your cigarette lighter of your car, and it does the same thing. That retunes the wiring in your car and anything that's plugged into your car at that point. And because your car is pretty much all metal, it does actually in your car, it's a little bit more potent because it creates it has a neutralizing bubble. You're literally sitting in a neutralizing bubble. So it will neutralize ambient EMFs that are coming into the car. It does create a little bit of basically a bubble. And so it is neutralizing those ambient EMFs that are coming into the car from the outside of the car.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And again, there's hard science behind it. I'm not exactly sure. I can't get into the sciencey part.
I have the research from you guys on my website.
Okay.
But here's what I'm gonna say. I did what Linda did. I pulled my plug one day. Actually, I didn't pull it. The person cleaning the home pulled it. She pulled it and plugged in the vacuum cleaner. And I'm like, what'd you do? And my brain was on fire. So I didn't know that she pulled it. All I knew is my brain was on fire. And then I see my plug sitting up.
It's kind of like literally like pulling a lifeline plug in a sense.
Much. Any other questions, Linda, or Miss Linda?
No, that's it. I was reading some research on, the EMFs and it's like, we're not going to get rid of it, that with our technology, everything. And the key was that we have to learn to live with it safely. Yes. And the products that you guys are developing. And what I love about Aulterra is the scientific backup, the backup that you guys have scientifically. And that, we need to learn to live with it safely. And the products do that. And I'm very that.
I would love to just speak to that for a moment. When I talk to people, and, right now, 5G kind of gets, 5G is taking the spotlight. But, EMFs, because we know EMFs come from everything. It's 5G. Yeah, 5G is dangerous, but it's that cumulative effect of EMF radiation that's coming off of your lamp in your bedroom. It's coming off of the baby. Actually, baby monitors are probably one of the worst. Those produce such high. And it's not that it's a high or a strong EMF. It's just that signal is so narrow and so sharp that it's really dangerous. But anyway, but with 5G, to me, I tell people, 5G isn't evil. 5G isn't Satan. It's not. The problem is just coming out with 5G without any sort of research and making it safe. I'm sure there's, because 5G is amazing. I mean, it makes technology faster. I mean, it has a lot of great, and I'm techie. It has a lot of great benefits, but the side effects far outweigh the benefits at this point. And so it's not that 5G or 6G or 7G or 8G, it's not that they're terrible things. It's just that we need to make them safe before we use them. Just like anything, the Food and Drug Administration has cracked down and is so tight on anything being released, if it's not safe. And it's like, well, then why in the world do we have 5G when we know damn well it's not safe? That makes no sense. I mean, it makes sense if you talk about, big money and blah, 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 but we won't go into that. But so to me, it's, 5G it's not evil. It's just that it hasn't been made safe, and, in a perfect world, we've talked to different cell phone companies, and, if we could integrate Aulterra into a lot of these, pretty much into all 5G towers, we might be able to make it a significant difference in how it affects all biological systems. But that would never happen. That's not their intention.
What do you think their intention is? Oh, go ahead, Linda.
I have a question real quick, and I got to get off. Is this overkill? I haven't done it yet, but I'm thinking about it. The little round, I don't know what they're
the
called.
disc?
The things you put on your cell phone.
Yeah, the disc.
The little disc. Is it overkill if I put it like on my monitors, my TV screen?
You missed the first part of the show. Go ahead, Jim.
You're talking to the king of overkill right now. No, I have them on everything. I have two. I use 2 stickers on my laptop. I got 2 stickers on my phone. I have a sticker on every single monitor. I'm actually in my studio right now, and I have stickers everywhere. Even though I have a whole house, I actually still have the whole house plugs. I don't have the USB down here, but I have a whole house plug in here. I've got stickers on every piece of, everything. I mean, everything here. Maybe I'll just show you what my studio looks like. Like there's my drums. I have a huge screen because I have a big light show and all that stuff. Every single one of those lights has a sticker on it. Everything has a sticker on it. My dishwasher has a sticker on it. My refrigerator has a sticker on it. And even though, like I said, I've got the whole house plug in, I know the whole house plug is doing its job. I'm just particularly extreme in everything. I don't suggest that to everybody because I also get my stickers for free. Stickers can cost a lot of money. So it's not absolutely necessary. I just tend to be extreme in everything. The whole house plug is definitely neutralizing all the equipment in here. But
Jody, I'll be ordering some.
Well, I'm doing the same. We can do a joint order. So I'll be taking a bulk order today and tomorrow for the listening audience. Just dial 847-738-0242 or email Jody at Susan Essentials, and actually at SusanEssentials.com. I will put on the banner here on the thread how to contact me. Let's see. Here we go. It says schedule a free 20-minute nutritional consult, but it has my email address, Jody at SusanEssentials.com, 847-738-0242. We are going to stick her up.
Well, that was not meant to freak anybody out. I just, I'm extreme. You don't have to do that. So just
I'm an extremist. So I didn't know we could. I mean, like You just gave me permission to be me, so I'm cool.
Right. And I have a sticker. So my wallet, I got a sticker on my wallet.
Thank you so much for the information.
Thank you, Linda.
Thanks,
you.
Linda.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And then one other thing I wanted to just to kind of as a disclaimer. Well, it's not even really a disclaimer, but a common confusion which we get, because we've had, I've had a couple, a few bad reviews like on Amazon. There's some joker out there on YouTube that, basically they're sitting there with an EMF detector and stuff. And it's like, oh, come on. If you just read how our product works on our website first. But yeah, our products, they're not designed to block, remove, or absorb EMF radiation. That is not the way that it works. It works by taking an incoherent, man-made, chaotic wave, and it reverses that to a more coherent wave, which, so coherent meaning that's natural EMF, electromagnetism that comes from the planet, comes, from the sun. The sun emits massive radiation, but because of the way the planet is, the planet's electromagnetism actually acts as a natural neutralizer to the sun, which is really interesting because of the minerals in the planet. And of course we have our atmosphere, which blocks those solar rays. But it's just important that people understand that you can't. I mean, unfortunately, I wish there were a conventional way that people can sit at home and test, because we get that all the time. Well, how do I know that it's working? Well, we've done our tests. I mean, the best I can say is, trust us. And we've done so much testing.
Excuse me, you don't have to trust you. Really, you don't. Because there's research out there and there's studies and it's peer reviewed. So there you go. Right?
Yeah. But there's a lot of people though that just, it isn't enough for them. They want to be able to see it for themselves, and they want to be able to take out their EMF, and then see zero, and people don't understand. It's like, well, to do that, your electronics aren't going to function, if at all. I mean, to literally, so when you hear about, like competitors and other products that, that block and remove EMFs, that makes me, highly skeptical, because, even if you're doing some sort of damage, if that's the case, because just like anything else, like in nutrition, from a functional nutrition point of view, do you want to fix the symptoms or do you want to fix the source of the problem? So that's, if you're going to block EMF radiation with a Farragut cage or, something like that, all you're doing is you're just covering up the symptom. You're literally putting a blanket over the symptom and saying, see, it's not there anymore, because I don't see it now. But to our whole philosophy is let's correct the source of the problem. EMFs are not, EMF isn't a bad thing. People look at EMF like, oh my God, yeah. Well, no, we're from the dawn of mankind, we've been surrounded by natural EMF, that comes from the planet. Are you still there? Did I lose you?
I got lost.
Well, yeah, I lost you for a second.
I know. Wait.
So,
Okay.
but anyway, so I mean, EMF.
This Farragut cage blocking the symptoms, and that's more of actually an allopathic approach.
Right. Yeah. And so, because EMFs are natural, and we get a lot of, these haters, EMFs aren't bad, we're surrounded by it. Planet has natural EMFs and everything. It's like, yes, absolutely. And that's called coherent EMF radiation. But when you have electricity and radio waves and, RA waves and all these, these are man-made waves, and they're chaotic. When you look at the waves that are being produced, they're high up on the spectrum, and they're, very singular. They're waveforms. When you look at them, they're very sharp, singular waveform. And then they have these outlining little waveforms. And when you look at what Aulterra does, that you'll be sharing some of those peer reviews. It actually is what it's doing is it's reducing that sharp wave, first of all, that singular wave. But what it does is it's sort of it's squashing it, so it spreads it along. It spreads it along the spectrum more. So it acts as a coherent wave, which is very natural, and it moves right through your body. It's like one metaphor that we use is, incoherent waves, man-made waves are like barbed wire going through your body. Coherent waves, natural waves, are like silk thread that just move right through your body. That's one way of putting it, but really what's happening there is you're removing the resistance. When your body, because it's resist, just like anything in your body, when you have aches and pains, it's energy blockage. That's resistance. Your body's resisting that area for allowing energy to move through it. When you can remove your body's natural resistance to EMF radiation, then it allows that radiation to go right through you. It doesn't affect your DNA. As a matter of fact, it has a beneficial effect on your DNA.
Yeah, so, I want to repeat that. I just want to repeat that to the listening audience. So what we're hearing today is that by putting on these Aulterra stickers and neutralizers, we're taking something that could be harmful, we know to be harmful, that does the EMF kind of modifies your DNA, doesn't it? The bad EMF. Okay.
It does. Yeah.
And then what it's doing is it's neutralizing it, so your body and actually helps the body, converts it to something that is beneficial for the body. Is that right? To a coherent versus incoherent wave. Right. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, like I said, part of the science behind that is it does slow down the DNA rewinding, so it allows that DNA to restructure itself the way it's supposed to, so you don't get abnormal, DNA, damaged DNA and breaks in your DNA and things of that nature. So just to go back to, the source of the problem, so it doesn't block, remove, absorb EMF radiation. Unfortunately, you can't use an EMF meter to test your product. It just doesn't work because you're still going to read EMFs. It's just the difference is now that EMF isn't damaging your body. And a lot of people just, ask, well, how do I know that? It's like, well, you have to trust the testing that have been done. These are third-party tests. And we've been doing this since 1989. We wouldn't just throw a product out there and make claims that it does something when it doesn't. That would be ridiculous.
Well, so, spot on. And the other thing I would ask is, how do you feel? Right. Right. I was telling you and some other people that I was in Pentwater, Michigan, this last 2 weeks. And I got into town on, it was Saturday night, and we're just walking in town. It's dark, so I can't really see much other than some of the lights in the stores, the closed lights. And I said to Andrew, energy feels really bad. I said, I don't know what's going on, but the energy's really bad. And so I go, get me out of the town. So we went back home, which is right on the lake with Lake Michigan. So of course I feel much better because of it's the negative ionic, right? Mm-hmm. And we go back in during the day to see that on the Pentwater water tower are all the 5G towers. And like stick a label on that, right? Well, I should have just put a label right on.
And especially on a water tower, because
when we started with that, right?
Yeah, I mean the water is just amplifying that even by dozens.
Yeah, could I just put a label on that tower and have that work?
Yeah, that's insane. They certainly did not think that, and that was my point. It's like it's 5G, but I mean, come on. I mean, you got to use at least a little bit of common sense. I mean, a little bit, goes a long way. But so actually, so when you're talking about how it makes you feel, and that's another thing too. we've had people that have, and we offer refunds, and we've offered refunds from somebody that's had it for 6 months because, we don't want anybody unhappy out there.
Right.
But we've had people, I plugged it in, and then, and I just, almost immediately, I didn't feel good, it gave me a headache or blah, blah. And it's like, unfortunately, depending on your toxicity level, that can happen. That's called detoxing, and a lot of people have a tough time. We don't get too many of those, but there are. If you're in a severe case, where you've been literally sitting in a microwave, and when you put a whole house, USB in your house, the difference is dramatic, and you will detox. You will get detox symptoms, which could be headaches, massive fatigue for, maybe a couple days, almost maybe even flu-like symptoms, and we just tell people, I promise, just, you got to give it 3 or 4 days. Then you're going to begin to feel so much better. But we know we've had few people that just don't give it that chance, and it's like, well, then then it's not for you. If you're sometimes people, unfortunately, you are so toxic, it's hard to break out of that, because to detox is so painful, that it's difficult to break that toxic pattern.
Well, it's a really good point. To detox is painful. I was speaking to a client yesterday who, is getting eruptions in their skin. And I said, part of the process, you've got all those toxins in your body. It takes time to get them out. I actually have failed to go to commercial, so I'm just going to run a quick commercial real quick. So let me see if I can do this correctly. We already know that, here we go. So if I just do this here.
Susan Essentials is re-engineering what health looks like by leading you to the best wellness initiatives in the world. Start your coaching plan today and create a new paradigm of health. Click here to learn more.
Do you worry about finances, family, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down to earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for thought. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. Take advantage of the deal of the day. Go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com.
With a Place of Peace pop-up from Susan Essentials, you are able to increase productivity, mental acuity, leaving you with higher energy and peace in just 20 minutes. We pop up at our office or yours.
All right, we are back, and I just want to say that we have other shows this week every morning, 7 a.m. The Female Solution Blog Talk Radio is aired, and tomorrow we have Naima Latif. On Mondays we have Zelda Speaks. We have Vieta, our holistic coach, and she's on Friday, Sunday, and then we have rotation on Saturday. But check out the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio to see what's coming up and what topics are exciting for you. And let's go back to Jim of Aulterra. So, we were talking about, here we go. Zelda Robinson, I've read The Smudging Sage Cleans. Okay, environment and bacteria. Okay, thank you, Vieta. She's also a talk show host, so there you go. So we were talking about how this is removing the resistance, that it slows down the DNA rewinding, and the question I have is, when I'm walking in town, now I'm on foot, what do I do?
Well, that's where, yeah, I mean, it sounds crazy, but you have your cell phone with your neutralizer sticker on there on your body. That can actually help to a certain degree, but we have pendants that I don't actually have. I have a different pendant on, so I don't have the Aulterra pendant on. But we do have Aulterra pendants that have the same paramagnetic minerals pretty much as the powder and our pillows, the energy pillows. But having a pendant on your body will neutralize those ambient EMFs around that are basically inundating, trying to get into your body. And it does neutralize probably about a 6-foot radius around your body.
Really? So I'm going to show people what this looks like. And I'm going to share the screen. Hold on. So share screen. And there we go. So this is the Aulterra energy pendant. And so, and what's this? And so this has, it's on back order right now. Okay.
Yeah. So we have a hard time keeping those in stock. They sell. And even at that price point, and a lot of people balk at the price and they say, why is it so expensive? And it's really just because of the piece of jewelry cost us so much. It is a beautiful piece of jewelry, but it costs us so much to make it. And we are working on a less expensive pendant, something that will still look really nice, but yet not have that price point. Because that price point, it's not because our product is so expensive. It's really that piece of jewelry just costs. It's a completely custom piece of jewelry. The mold, everything to make that piece of jewelry is expensive, unfortunately. And that's where Kim Danduran, the founder, he wanted to start out with something, super nice like that. But we have other ideas so kind of stay tuned. We are working on some other less expensive pendants to make them more affordable to more people. So yeah, but they're amazing though. The properties, and I've done a lot of dark field microscopy, testing with the pendants, and it's amazing. It's just amazing unless you really see it for yourself. And I invite people are always welcome. If they're in the Hayden, Idaho area in the United States, anybody's welcome, and we'll do a free testing with them. And so they can actually see their own blood live in action, see what's going on. The way that we do that is we take a baseline reading without anything, so we can see what your blood looks like. Then we have you talk on a cell phone for only 2 minutes, without protection. And then you see what your blood looks like, and it's horrid. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, it's even a healthy person, the way that your blood coagulates and you get all these really malformed, deformed blood cells, and it looks terrible. Like I said, I have yet to have an inconclusive test on anybody. And then we have you then we put a sticker on your cell phone, and then we have you just talk on your cell phone for just like 2 minutes. And then we take another blood test. And then we look at it, and it's amazing, because not only is your blood look great, but it's always so much better than your baseline reading. So it's weird. Like I said, I mean, I see it for myself day in and day out when I do these tests. But having that neutralizer and actually talking on your cell phone actually improves your blood than from your baseline reading from not even having a phone by you. So it's pretty amazing. I mean, and I know it sounds crazy, but I see it. We have some of the dark field microscopy on our site. We have hundreds of them, but obviously we're not going to put hundreds of them on our website. I only add, I just make a couple of them so people can see, get an idea of what's going on there. But yeah, it does actually improve the blood cells. So they're no longer clumped together and just all malformed looking. They're just nice and spacious, nice round blood cells. So you got lots of oxygenation, because that clumping, what happens, when your blood cells are clumping like that, now you have very little oxygenation going on inside your body. There's no space. Your cells aren't communicating. There's so much going on there that people don't realize. It's not just, it's heating up my body and it's burning me. It's like, well, no, what's really going on in there is it's clumping, your blood cells clump together. There's no oxygenation. I mean, I don't want to say no oxygenation, but it's dramatically reduced.
It's very little.
Dramatically reduced.
So I have a question. So we have three. I have 3 pulse electromagnetic frequency devices here. And actually we have a question coming in. Hold on a second. Okay, so the question came in, what else can we do? What are you saying about the pendant? Should we carry a neutralizer pillow, or are there other options you can suggest? I also use your car neutralizer. Why isn't there greater recognition by the general public about the dangers of things such as cell phones and AirPods? I've seen the videos and maybe they're being blocked from the general public. So why don't we take his question first and we'll go back to mine, and you can address that first. And my question is, if I'm using a PEMF device, which has a mat and a strap, plus of course you've got the computer itself, it occurs to me I should put the disc on all those devices. I don't think it would change the wave form. It's just going to make that waveform better and healthier.
Yes.
Which is healthy anyway.
Yep. So the waveform's still going to be there. It's just that at that point, it's just not going to harm your body. So yeah, it's not going to affect the device in a negative way at all.
Okay. And then going to the question from our caller, this was Andrew actually asking, and I'll go back to his text message.
So I kind of remember what he just asked.
Sure, go ahead.
And as far as the public recognition, things of this nature, it's difficult to quite wrap your head around what goes on. Even this whole COVID thing, it's really hard to wrap your head around why these things don't come out so much in the public that people understand that. I mean, is it because big pharma is behind it? Is it because the cell phones just have billions and billions of dollars to try to mask it as much as possible? I think all those variables are true. People need to learn to really to really look, to really seek out and look and find the research and look at what's really going on. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't doing that, or they're being completely lied to by the media that just covers things up, and that's all they watch. There's people that all they watch is CNN and Fox News, and they don't branch out. They don't look. They don't do their research. They don't look for answers, elsewhere from the actual people that are doing the actual science and the actual research. They're just listening to what the media has to tell them. I don't have a great answer for that. If when I start focusing on that, it just puts me in a bad mood, honestly. So I don't have a great answer for that.
What?
But it's hard, yeah. It affects my Zen when I, but no, that's why we're here. I mean, we're doing the best we can, to educate people, and I think, I consider our product somewhat of a cult product. I mean, it really is, because it's, the more we get out there on main stage, the more we're going to be hit by the media, the more hate, it's kind of funny because we've begun to really ramp up. We have ads on Facebook and it's amazing. We have a lot of supporters, but then you see, wow, there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate out there. And for no reason at all, except for, honestly, I can't see any other reason than just to be hateful. I mean, they don't have valid, valid arguments other than they're just full of anger and hate. But as far as, what you can do, I mean, a lot of times when I'm sitting and working, I stuff a neutralizer energy pillow in my pants. I mean, that sounds weird. I'm not like all the way down my pants. But just in my belt, just so it's right there, and that totally does the trick. Wearing a pendant around does the trick. I would say, even like I said, having a couple stickers on your cell phone, and since we're always walking around with your cell phone, that's making a huge difference by itself. I know it's strange and it sounds weird, but I feel, I'm going off of my feeling. I have my cell phone on me all the time and I feel pretty good. I mean, I don't, there's other variables. I was talking to, Suzanne a little bit about, there's other things that you can maybe seek out to help with EMF. Like I said, even clearing at night, you can just lay down and you can clear EMFs, just like you're clearing negatives and negative energy from your body at night, by just speaking through that and asking. You can ask that remove, any EMF toxins, any EMF radiation that I've stored up throughout the day. I know that sounds crazy.
Not to my listeners.
Yeah, but but the thing is, a lot of you just have to do it. If you just do it, you'll notice a difference. What's that?
I did it last night.
Oh, good, perfect.
Yeah, I did it last night because you told me. So I have another caller, 312-823. Let's see. Hold on a second. Good morning and welcome to the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio. You're with Jody Susan of Self Care and Jim Elvidge, Aulterra. What's your name and where are you calling from? 312-823.
My name is Ali. I'm calling from Chicago.
So we can almost hear you. It's cutting out. You're calling from Chicago. I didn't get your first name. Vaccina. Roxina.
Yeah. I was looking at, I tuned in for the day, but I heard to say something about people having hate. And I'm in a community.
Can you try calling back in? Can you try calling back in and we'll take your call right away? Because this is a bad connection.
Yeah, the voice is really broken.
Yeah, so why don't you call right back in?
Hello?
Can you call right back in, please? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so she'll call right back in and we'll see her. And I'm actually going to ask our spirit guides to please come in and help our technology work with all of our current vibration levels. Okay, and here she is. So we'll bring her back on. Is this?
Can you hear better?
Yes. Hi.
Hi. No, I tuned in late, so I didn't get all of the show. But he said something that was sort of devastating to me. And he said that people have a lot of hate in them. And I wanted to know why you say that, because I'm living in a community where a lot of black killing and murder. And I'm wondering, is that because of a hate crime or mental illness?
Jim, do you want to take that or should I?
Well, I mean, I guess I can kind of answer from my point when I'm talking about people with hate. That might be a strong word, but people that I guess I call it deviant skepticism. I mean, we've talked about that. Skepticism is good, but there's people that react to our stuff with really little knowledge and no valid arguments, but yet they're just, I guess they call them trolls. They're just there to basically create hostility and anger and doubt, and they just say, oh, EMFs aren't a problem. I had one guy, he said he was 70 years old and he's worked on phones or phone lines all my life, and I'm fine, and you guys are full of crap, and EMFs are totally fine. And I just responded, I was like, that's great that you have a really, really strong immune system. That's great that you don't feel like you've been affected by it. But there's a couple things here. First of all, there's a lot of people that have compromised immune systems that do not deal with EMF well. What are we supposed to just not worry about that? Just say, well, that's your problem. We're all in this together. And, there are some people that just have really great immune systems, which is fabulous. You've been blessed, but there's a lot of people, and probably more so, the majority does not have super immune systems that we want to take care of. And second of all, for you to just, be accusing like that, to me, that's an expression of anger. And I'm thinking, well, are you really sure that EMFs haven't affected you? Because you're not showing love, you're not, and I think EMF has that effect on everyone. EMF does a lot of damage, and I think the natural state is love, but when that natural state is broken, people tend to be hostile when they normally wouldn't be. People tend to be accusing when they normally wouldn't be. I mean, there are a lot of variables there, but that's when I'm talking about hate, that's kind of what I'm talking about. But not to say, that even, a lot of your hate crimes and a lot of the brutal stuff that has been going on in the world is not being highly impacted by the increase of EMF radiation. Well, there's 5G, of course. 5G has been detrimental because of how quickly they put that up and what a drastic electromagnetic change it's had on the planet. And anytime we've seen dramatic electromagnetic changes, like when the first radio, signals came on, there was the flu, the influenza. When back in the 80s, when the cell phone towers first went up, that's when actually I think that was the first COVID. Because I know there was a flu. I think that was a COVID thing. Yeah, but that, so if you go back through all the centuries, when there's been dramatic changes in electromagnetic frequency on the planet, you've seen these types of plagues, you've seen these types of outbreaks. Now we're at a whole different level, with 5G and going from 5G to the next generations. And, G only means generation. It's, but as we increase these frequencies higher and then, and amplifying them, it's creating havoc. So not to say that we're seeing, a lot of this violence. I mean, I'm not going to claim it, but it could certainly, EMFs might, be playing a big part in that. I can't say that for sure, but it's you certainly couldn't argue against it.
So the caller, I think she accidentally dropped, but oh no, she's back on. She's listening, but doesn't have another question. I want to add to that. So in 2013, I became disabled and I stopped watching TV. And only from time to time when I was called by spirit to turn on the channel, I would do so. And what occurred to me, because I started learning more about, like the National Safety Council was on with some things to do with like opiates and heroin, and they were talking about these mass shootings. And so the question goes back to about the hate. So I feel, and I think there's science to support, I know that there's science to support this, and it goes along with what you're saying, Jim. It's not one or the other, really. It's all of it. When we put things in our body that it doesn't know how to process, like a synthetic food, I think it twists your brain. You put in a medication medication, Western medication is really meant for acute care, emergency situations. It was never meant for long term, So there's a place for Western medicine, like for an emergency for some people, but it's never meant for long term, and it switches your brain. It has you be in a way that doesn't bring on love. It's a different frequency. It's a completely different frequency. Right. So when you bring in things that your body doesn't understand, it's a different frequency. So whether it's food, medication, the toxins in your water, the electromagnetic frequencies, these are all, if your body doesn't recognize the frequency as friendly, it may go right into fight or flight, or a reactive primal approach to defend or protect its area. And I think that's where the hate and the anger comes from. That's just an opinion.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. And like I said, there are a lot of variables there, but it's an accumulative effect. Really, it's all the toxins that build up. And and speaking of accumulative, too, and that's you get these arguments that people that don't think that cell phones are dangerous. 5G isn't dangerous. It's fine. Blah blah blah. It's like if it were dangerous, then we should all be dead. And my response to that is it's an accumulative effect. Oh, there's your birdie.
Yeah, she just was brought downstairs. Apparently, she has something she wants to say.
Oh, okay.
So, she talks to us like I said. She's a magical creature. So, what do you have to say this morning? So she has the same message as you. So what she's saying that we need to really be the love. And that we forgot somewhere along the way how to love. And we need to go back to that. Go back to those basics is what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like that. That's a smart bird.
Oh, she's a magical creature. I'm going to tell you, she's not just a bird.
Mm-hmm.
So our caller is back at 312-823. Looks like she may have a follow-up question. Let's bring her back on. Hello, you're back.
Hello, Glenn Rice. What are you? I couldn't. I don't know why we break it up so badly, but so is he saying that all the murdering and killing in communities is because of bad diet, or does that affect the behavior and the attitudes that makes them want to destroy each other, and that's outside of their own community or their own ethnicity? I don't understand why it's like that. If they say, okay, the cause of it, they justify it talking about what the white man did, so they hate what he did, and then they do the same or worse to their own kind at this era and time. So is he saying that it's because of the toxin in them, or it's not the mental issue, it's something that's inside them that's damaging their ability to love and to reason and to care? for each other instead of just destroying them like that. It could be the drugs, because some of them don't even use drugs or sell drugs. Just doing this. From my observation, I don't know it all, but I don't understand it, and it's really becoming oppressive to me and depressing, especially after still unsolved homicide of my grandson, and then recently I in a cab driving by in a black community and bodies laying dead on the street, and it's like, it traumatized me. I was going, the cab driver was going to the gas station, and a man was getting into an Uber cab. He's lying there shot in the head. So is it all these people got something in them? What? I don't understand. I mean, then I'm on the Dan Ryan Expressway in Chicago, and there's smoke coming out of the tires with guns. And this is about, I eat healthy. I pray, I believe, I have faith. But I never witnessed something like this in all my years on this planet. And then it seems like the ones who are deacons and all of that, they just expecting it. They're not saying, okay, they got a hate crime bills in the federal government legislation, rule of law, and they got the HEALS Act. They're not saying, well, let's go to them and probably get some help for our community, because there's too many of this stuff happening in our community. But they're saying eat healthy, but they eat healthy themselves. What's their problem? I don't understand it, and I'm not hateful. I love people, and I do all I can to feel it from my heart to help. But I don't understand this, and it's depressing me, because this is just recently that I started last week. And then on the weekend, it's supposed to be June 10th, freedom of the slave, and then 17 black people got killed. All the black people. So it's painful to me as a person. I don't want to be rude or anything like that, but maybe somebody else can tell me. I haven't been able to get the answer from ministry, and I have to pray on it, but to actually witness it with my eye, in a public place like the Dan Ryan Expressway and gas station.
Well, let me ask you a question.
On the ground.
Let me ask you a question. Are you neutralizing the EMF in your home and on your body?
Am I neutralizing what?
The EMF, the electromagnetic frequencies in your home and on your body. Are you taking those steps at this time?
No, I don't know. I'm not neutralizing anything. I only any electronics. I hope I'm understanding you. I'm not understanding what you mean neutralizing electronics.
So there's electronics all around us that are emitting different wave forms. Those wave forms our bodies typically don't really like. So it's up to us to find ways to neutralize the effects of those electromagnetic frequencies. Think about the microwave, the refrigerator, your light, your hair dryer, your phone, your TV set, your computer. And so we're saying here today.
I don't. I stopped using my computer months ago, and my phone, I only answer it. I really haven't even been calling, listening to the talk show on my phone. My electric bill when I moved back in here was $1,800. Now it's $0, and been that way for 3 months. So no, I don't think it's that that's making me feel oppressed. Witnessing murder outside of my home with electronic box. I don't understand the question really, because I don't understand what utilizing electronics got to do with the answer of somebody homicides and murders and killings.
Okay, so Jim, do you want to take a stab at that?
I don't want to be.
So the best you can do is hold space in your heart. The best you can do is to just express love. There's nothing you can't go out there and combat these people that are killing each other, because their form of communication is through is through crime. And you can't just sit them down and force them to experience love and to force them to be nice and to love each other. That's not the answer. The best you can do, the best part that you can play, is to just have love. Just express love unconditionally. Allow those people, because we're all going from point A to point B. In this universe, we are all on a path from point A to point B. These people might be over here committing crimes, killing each other, but you have to believe that they're still on the same path from point A to point B. They're, the characters that they're playing in this story are just different than yours. It sucks. It's not pleasant. We don't like to see it, but apparently it's necessary for us all to get from point A to point B. We all just have our own part to play. We have our own paths. We have different characters that we're playing in this big story. But the last thing you want to do is focus on their pain, focus on their killing each other. The best part that you can play is be you, be the love, express the love. That's the best thing that you can possibly do. Rather than looking at and having negative feelings.
I understand, and I try that, but because of my upbringing and my spiritual background and directions given, it tells me that God does not even kill. And God, for those who believe in God, God cannot kill. God should not murder. But killing is justifiable in the scripture that was revealed, but only during the time of battle, and where you're defending yourself. But for somebody to come and kill an innocent baby, I'm gonna show love. I think that's insanity.
So I am
someone that killed an innocent baby, a baby 7 years old.
Our show is ending.
And this in Chicago that was killed was
our show. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to stop because our show is ending.
None of that.
Okay, thank you.
I don't understand that theory.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, none of us do. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So, and I thank the caller for calling in. The show is ending in 2 minutes, so we just need to kind of tie up. Jim, what do you want to leave us with?
I guess, part of, that caller did bring up a good point, but what I would want to leave everyone with is just remember, when you're out there driving, when you're in your day-to-day life, that we are all characters in this story. We all play different, we have different parts. The author, God, source energy, whatever you want to refer to as.
90 seconds.
Go ahead.
But God is the author, and God is writing the story. And parts of that story seems horrid. But just like any good story, though, you're going to have your conflict. You have your, you have all that. And just remember that we're all, on this path from point A to point B, but we all play different parts. It's going to look different for everyone. For each character in that story, it's good. Each character has a different part to play. So basically, that's what I want to leave everyone with, is just remember that the person next to you, no matter what, just show love, because you never know what that person's going through. Their mom may have just died. If the waitress is being rude, you know what, tip her anyway. Be nice to her, because you don't know what's going on with people in life. Just express love. The best you can do is just express love. You can never go wrong with that. That's what I'm going to leave.
Could not agree more. And it's actually what she came down to tell people. So it was interesting. And if you are watching this, if you're catching the end, I want you to listen to the very beginning so you can listen to Jim's song, his music. We played it on YouTube, and I'll also put it in the comments on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you want to see that, you can. You also have ways to get Aulterra products. You can call me at 847-738-0242 or email jody@susanessentials.com, and we can get you protected or neutralized, really.
Right.
Keep you last. So we're so grateful to have you here, and for bringing your amazing energy to the world, and specifically to our space, right? So with the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio. So we're grateful.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
It really, really was. And I think it's coming in. It doesn't look like I just have to do the thank you ending here. So let me just run that through. Let's see. There we go.
We've come to the end of our show today, but you can hear every show in archives at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. You can also hear today's show on the Female Solution Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Watch our TV shows, listen to our radio shows, or our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, Sheshe, India, Zanyaba, Japan, Arigato, Korea, Kamsahamnida, Russia, Spasiba, Germany, Danke, Poland, John Kujon,